Good morning, my name is Karen and I wear many hats at these meetings, always. So let's do this. First, I am here on behalf of the in-house personnel committee. So they're the ones that put on the little fundraisers and fun activities and also that amazing holiday party at the end of the year. You are invited to participate. Your point person for that committee is Tessa in marketing, and she would like you to know that the meetings are held the last Thursday of each month at 10 a.m. in the boardroom. So come, bring your energy and your good ideas and your willingness to pitch in. They do neat work. So some things coming up that they are doing include Stevie's Eats, which is like a barbecue food truck, is coming in this Friday in the main parking lot. They accept cash and cards, and it looks like a good menu. So that's a fun, different thing for your lunch. Next week on Tuesday, they're doing a grilled cheese and tomato soup fundraiser, ultimate comfort food, right here in the activity center. So come and enjoy that. And do not forget, this personnel summer picnic happens a week from Friday. If you were thinking, oh, I wanted to go to that, but you haven't RSVP'd, you have to RSVP, okay? And technically, you're late. But if you talk to Tessa today, you can still come. You should bring your kids, your grandkids, whatever, your loved ones. Make it a party. There's going to be a bounce house and I don't know, a hot dog truck. There's all kinds of fun things happening at Sunset Park on a Friday evening. You know, that's pretty nice. So I hope you're going to participate. Do get your RSVPs in if you're doing that. Anyone have any questions about the in-house personnel committee meeting or committee in general? Okay, new hat. I'm doing now compliance, safety, and administrative details. First, let's talk about flu shots. So, because we work in healthcare, we are required by the state of Illinois that every staff member have either a record of a flu shot on file from the most recent flu season, which started in October 1 of 2023 and ran through March 31st of 2024. You have to have on record either your copy of your flu shot or a filled out declination form explaining why you're not, whether it's a medical exemption, which is harder to get, or religious exemption, which is not too bad. When we looked at our records, about half of staff have neither, okay? And that's not gonna work compliance-wise, to have about half of staff that have neither a flu shot on file nor a declination form. So if you already got your flu shot here or elsewhere, and that information is all turned into HR, thank you so much. If you filled out a declination form, thank you so much. If you got a shot somewhere else, but you didn't get around getting the evidence of it to HR yet, that counts as you did nothing. Okay, that's what the regulator will say. If it's not documented, it's not done. Get that documentation to HR today, please. Call the place, have them fax it over or something. And otherwise, we just need you to fill out a declination form. Catherine has them. She'll bring them around to the tables. It's fairly quick and easy to do. Just please, let's get that. We can do better than half compliance on our flu shots. And this is required by the state of Illinois. It's not a friendship manner rule. So thank you in advance for making sure you take care of that. If you have any doubt, not everybody remembers whether they got a flu shot this year. Do the years all run together for you? Because they do for me. If you don't remember, please check in with HR and just make sure that you've got this covered. We've got Jen Kupsiati chasing people down, but you could save her some work if you could just turn the things in. Any questions about the flu shot?
Karen?
Yes?
I was just gonna say, like, if you are in a hospital system that has like a patient portal, like I know Genesis has a patient portal, and I can, go in and see all my history. Maybe if you have an account like that with your provider, maybe it's something you can download in your utilization history, and it's not that big a deal.
Excellent point. She's saying through the hospital systems and some doctors, there's a patient portal. And so you might not even need to call them. You might be able to just log in on your patient portal, print off your record, and turn it into HR.
Walgreens is the same way.
Walgreens is the same way. Oh yeah, and my CVS is the same way. I can look in CVS and see everything I've had. So yeah. So please take care of that. We really need you to have that. Next thing, fraud, waste, and abuse training. So if you were here at the meetings in February, and maybe probably you were, because if you're at a meeting, you're a meetings attender, and we appreciate you, okay? If you were here, we did the fraud, waste, and abuse training. I had some slides. We talked about how many knee replacements you could buy instead of all the fraud, waste, and abuse we have. You might remember that. We did the training. However, we are moving the record of the training over to our payroll system, because then when a regulator comes in and says, prove to us that your people had this training, it's just a quick print of a report and hand it to them. So whether you were here at the February meetings or not, whether you completed that training or not, we just need you to do it. So this is going to be the one meeting where playing on your phone will not get you a side eye. Please go ahead, get your phone out, get in your Paylocity. You can do it while I'm talking. Nobody cares that you're on your phone right now. In fact, I celebrate a little bit when I see people open their phones when I do this. Okay? Catherine posted a thing that is fraud, waste, and abuse training. Just need you to go in and look at it. Now, user experience differs because phones differ. So, some of you, just by opening the document, that sends the report to HR, bing, we know you did it and exactly what time you did it. Some of you, there's a thing that you can check as read. Please do that if that option is available to you. And some of you got the fancy option that lets you sign. So, go ahead and do that. I listened to a fun podcast that said a lot of people sign Mickey Mouse because your signature doesn't really matter except that there's something there, which cracks me up. So, yes.
It's hard to look and listen at the same time.
Yes.
So I'm looking at the 8 unread announcements and I see the code of conduct, I see the fraud, waste, and abuse.
Yep.
Are we clicking on that? Fraud,
Yeah,
waste,
click
and
on the
abuse?
fraud, waste, and abuse.
Okay,
And then if it gives you an option to check as read or to sign, do that. It might not. And if it doesn't, then you got the credit by clicking on it. Okay? And you have it in your packet you can review. You also have the copy now electronically too that you can review.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you for clarifying that, Kathy. I appreciate that. Any questions about the fraud, waste, and abuse stuff?
Unless you're yours, that's right.
Okay. While you're in there clicking around, as Kathy pointed out, there's also a code of conduct thing that was posted. And I need you to go in and do that one too, because we do that annually. There are some of the people who don't come to meetings have the complaint that you always do and say the same thing, why should we come? Here's the thing, guys, CMS, and you know this, I don't have to preach to you because you're the ones who come. I know. But the message to our people who don't come is this. We have regulatory things we have to do annually, according to CMS, according to IDPH, or we're not following the rules. It's a really efficient way just to get the people in the room and do it, and that's why we need people in meetings. So, as you do this, we're getting in compliance. I am going to go through that code of conduct. It's in your packet. It looks roughly like this without all the highlighting. It says Friendship Manor Inc. Code of Conduct at the top. You can follow through if you want, but you can really concentrate on making sure that you've got that recorded in Paylocity. By the way, if you're a person who just cannot with the Paylocity, you need to go see HR then in the next day or two, and they will help you with that, okay? Because we do need it in there, and they can help you where you're maybe not so much with the I cannot. All right, let's do a quick review. We're just going to do it and get through it. This code of conduct is part of Friendship Manor's compliance program, and it's important to note that it's our intent as Friendship Manor to comply in good faith and to the best of our ability with state and federal laws and ethical standards. Now, here is my question to you. If you see something happening and you're unsure about whether that's in compliance or not, should you guess?
No.
Thank you. No, you should not guess. You don't do that. You don't go, oh, is that in compliance? Probably. Probably Savannah will have a heart attack over here, right, as ADON. Don't do probably, okay? Check in with your supervisor, check in with me. I might not know, but I know how to find out, okay? Check in. The other thing we need to know, you to know, is that you will not be penalized for asking questions about compliance. So if you ever had one of those grumpy teachers in school that you ask a question and then they yell at you because you were already supposed to know that. Remember that teacher? Happily, there's not too many of them. We're not going to be like that. We're not going to say, you asked that question, you were supposed to know it, now I'm writing you up. No, okay? No punishment for asking compliance questions. So please ask. Even if you think it's a dumb question, even if you think everybody else already knows it, because the real secret is everybody else does not already know it, okay? Stuff just dribbles back out our ears as fast as we put it in. So just ask the question, get the information new. Any questions about that? Now I'm going to go fast through the 7 concepts that are covered in here. Here we go. 1, quality care. That means first that we provide, of course, excellent high quality care to our residents, but also that we document it thoroughly and accurately. Because in healthcare, if it isn't documented, it isn't done, right? Doesn't count, you can give the best care a resident ever got in their life. If you didn't document it, the regulators won't count it and you'll get the ding for it. Second, resident rights. Here's Karen's definition of resident rights. Friendship Manor residents are free adults and should be treated as such. They do not become children when they come through our door. They do not become livestock that we're herding through and making do our things our way, right? They are free adults with their rights to make their decisions. And then a part of that is also immediately reporting any seen or suspected abuse. So that's the resident rights in my short definition. 3, building and coding integrity. That means we only provide the care that they need, the residents need. We don't make up extra cares that we give to them so that we can get extra money. I'm just gonna put these extra bandages on you because then I can bill for that, okay? We don't do any of that, of course, and of course we keep good records on all of that. Businesses practices has several elements, so we'll look at that. One is that, of course, we keep good books. That's just everywhere in all of these points. We keep good books. We don't accept gifts from residents, because that's a potential for abuse, right? So if you've ever had the occasional resident that will not take no for an answer on a gift, because they exist, I've met them, what you do with that gift is you just take it directly to the in-house personnel committee and give it to them. I have done this on many occasions in my career here. And then that gets put in the pot for like when we have giveaways at meetings, okay? Some of those were things that residents just wouldn't take no for an answer on giving. So that's what we do with gifts that we can't get them not to give us. Otherwise, just tell them no. Yes?
There's also a component that development has on gifts because we like to record that. So I would like to perhaps maybe have.
So when we turn it over to personnel, we should also tell development
Yeah.
so that they can put that in their record. That was an in-kind gift
Correct.
that we received.
Correct, absolutely.
Okay, or, okay, sometimes they want to give you money too. That can also go to straight to the in-house personnel, because then it goes into that fund that gives the wonderful bonus that staff, the hourly staff, get in December.
Yes, and that is.
That definitely goes to
That's
development.
development fund.
Definitely.
It's employee appreciation, so
Yes.
let's say somebody comes in from the outside and is eating with family, and they leave a 5 at the table, that comes to us.
Okay, yes.
And then it goes into employee appreciation, so $5 here, $3 there, but
It
it's
adds
all
up.
going into the employee appreciation fund.
Yeah, so any surprise tips that you get left where you can't do anything about it now, just take it to development, they'll record it, and then it goes into the pot for what the hourly people are getting in December for the appreciation gift from the residents. Okay? Also, we do not do kickbacks. Can anybody tell me what a kickback is? This is why we're here.
I'll give you a bottle of wine if you do this for me, and.
Yes, it's a this for that, right? It's a like we got 5 empty beds in Silver Cross. Call the doctors, tell them we'll give them $1,000 for every referral that they give us. That's a kickback. It's not allowed. Okay, so we do not do that as part of our business practices. Also, we take care of HIPAA, which means basically we protect everyone's medical information. That's private information. We don't leave it lying around for people to read. We don't talk about it or it can be overheard. We especially remember that, like, when we're at dinner at Applebee's, that if we're chatting about people by name, somebody might be hearing that, like, in the next booth. And I heard from another facility where where that happened, the horror that crawled through me as I was told the story. Just, ugh. So, we're careful about people's HIPAA, and we do background checks on staff. So that's our elements of business practices. Ethical culture just means we do our very best to follow the rules, laws, regulations, policies that we have to stay trained up on them. That's part of that, because if I get hired today and I get all the training on all the regs, and then I never do another training, in 5 years, am I gonna be in compliance? No, because the rules change all the time for us. So we have to get continually trained, partly because the rules change and partly again because we lose information as we go. We all experience this. You knew something and now you don't know it anymore. So we do the continual training. Diversity and inclusion, again, you're getting a Karen's definition here. I would call that we give the same respect, decency, and opportunity to each person, regardless and irrespective of any identity markers they have. The same respect, the same decency, the same opportunity. And reporting and fixing problems, that's about we follow our policies and procedures and we report if it seems not to be. Now, if you go to the very back of your packet, this tells you a little bit about how to report if you see something that seems not to be adhering to the code of conduct. You can just go to your supervisor. That is always an option, okay? If you're gonna report to me, there's a lot of ways here you can contact me. So they're on here. We got phone numbers, emails. There's a box outside of admin that's marked human resources. You can put it in there, marked compliance. You can come by and see me, and I have to keep it confidential, okay? So all those things are available to you to report. Does anyone have any questions on the code of conduct or comments? Look at that, we did that. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next thing. The safety committee came across, thanks to Lisa Terry, came across a device to help increase the safety of our residents or anyone who is eating food here. So soon in all of the dining areas and activities areas, you're gonna see a bag like this hanging up on a hook on the wall, and you're gonna see a sign like this above it that just says anti-choking device, and it's got the little logo. So what this is, it's very interesting. If you, for whatever reason, and there are many reasons, that you might not be able to perform the Heimlich on someone who is choking, you're gonna use this little device. Now, not to be crass, but it's kind of a plunger, okay? Looks like kind of a plunger, doesn't it? And so what it does is it has two mouthpieces in here. There's an adult size and a child size. They fit right into it. And then you're gonna put that over the nose and mouth. And when you push it in, it does not push air down their airway like a normal plunger would. But when you pull it out, it pops out whatever's in the airway, okay? So it's meant to save people where you can't do the Heimlich maneuver. We are going to do trainings on this because there are complications. Like, you can do it to somebody in a wheelchair if they have head support. But how many residents do we have rolling around on mobility carts that don't have a head support, right? Or they're sitting in the bistro, no head support. So we're gonna do some in-person trainings. We've got dummies to practice on, but we wanted to give you the preview of this and tell you it's coming. And if you want to do a sneak preview of the training, you can go on YouTube and check Life Vac Choking, and you can see the video yourself. It's less than 5 minutes. It's a pretty simple concept. So that is coming. Are there any questions about that? Okay, next up, accepting package deliveries. This is just a small note of something that came up recently. Do you get a lot of delivered things at your house? Because I do. At our house, we don't go to the store anymore. We just click, and then we wait for them to drop it on the porch. We became those people during the pandemic. Maybe you still like going in stores. But getting deliveries is kind of a way of life post-pandemic, right, for a lot of people. And that is true for some of our residents as well. Even if they're not internet savvy, a lot of them have kids who are. So if a package comes, or a delivery in bags, or whatever, that has a name on it, please just check and make sure before you send it back that the person doesn't really live here, okay? We had that happen recently. Someone who's lived here 4 years had staff trying to send it back. So just check. Have someone get in Matrix. Look and see, are they somewhere here in the building before you send it back? Any questions about that? Okay, and then the last thing I have, which is not on my agenda, but it's just too good not to share with you, okay? One of our job benefits here is we have availability of housing funds for buying a house here in Rock Island. And that is through the Development Association of Rock Island, or for short, DARI, D-A-R-I. And they can help with closing costs and with down payment costs. And we qualify for that only because Friendship Banner joined and pays dues, and other employers largely don't, okay? No other nursing homes here in Illinois do, for sure. But it's a great, great job benefit. And I'm just gonna encourage you, if you're even thinking a little bit that you might wanna become a homeowner, please look into this. There's a class they have available. When my husband and I bought a house in 2016, okay, and we took the class. Back then it cost $100 for the class. Now it's free. And I would say if you're even thinking in 2 years I might want to be a homeowner, I would take the class now, because it tells you a lot about what you need to know to become a homeowner, how to get ready for it. Take the class, it's free, it's real high value, okay? And then use the program. Here's what I want to tell you. My husband and I are about to buy our second house using this program. Now that does not mean we're becoming two home people with like our beach house or whatever, because we work here, we're not that kind of rich, okay? But our family situation changed since 2016, and we had to get a bigger house. And that's when I found out that this is not a first-time home buyer program, which I kind of thought, and I think a lot of people kind of thought it was a first-time home buyer. It's not. So we went back to the well, we took the class again, we filled out the stuff. Now, they had less money available when we did it back in 2016. Now they layer it together with other programs. There are multiple other possible programs. So we are getting funds from DARI, $1,500 in closing costs, and 5% of the purchase price. And then we're getting funds from a grant from the state of Illinois, which is 4% of the closing costs. And so, guys, we're getting over $17,000 in free money for our house, okay? So over $17,000. All we have to do is live there 5 years to not have to pay any of the DARI funds back. Live there 10 years to not have to pay any of the state of Illinois funds back. If we move out sooner, it's graduated how much you have to pay back. It's some paperwork. It's not nothing, okay? But that's a lot of money for free. So if you're thinking about it, this is an element to know that maybe if you thought it wasn't possible, maybe it is, okay? So it's a really good job benefit. Please take advantage of it, please. Owning a home is a great way. It helps you build your financial stability in ways that I did not anticipate before I was a homeowner. So maybe you can